Hi, since the tragic passing of Sacha, who was a great man and a great friend, many people have asked me to share some words, some memories about him, or even send them what I said on the first night of the Shiva. And although I can't do that, I didn't write it down, I just spoke from the heart, which isn't difficult when you're speaking about Sacha. I thought it's important to share a few words about him, so people can really understand what a great person he was. Since his passing, the family and I have received so many emails from people who just met him even briefly, and he really touched their lives and impacted them in a very special and deep, meaningful way. And for me too, Sacha was a great friend. In fact, about 10 days before he passed, he said to me, "Brad, why do you still love me? Why are you still my friend?" And I said to him, honestly, I said, "Sacha, because you're the most loyal, loving, caring, generous, beautiful, meaningful person I know." And he always was. When he was healthy, there was no one like him. If we could live our lives, even 1 minute of our lives, with as much passion as he lived his life when he was healthy, we'd have done really well. Because he wasn't okay with just living a mediocre life. You know, some people live a very long and mediocre life, just getting by, hanging in there, can't complain. And that wasn't good enough for Sacha. So he always went out there and he wanted the best. He wanted what was great. He was always striving for greatness in himself and in the world around him. And maybe that's really what got to him in the end, because there was a big difference between the beauty and depth that he saw in life and really the reality that he saw in the world around him and even within himself. But Sacha was very committed to living by his values and helping other people live by their values. And what he always said was that the two main values, the two important values in life, are really growth and contribution. Growing personally and contributing and making the world around you a better place. And really, he did this more than most people, more than most of us are going to do for the rest of our hopefully long lives. Sacha did more personal growth seminars, Landmark Forum, Tony Robbins, DeMartini, Mankind Project, than anyone I know. He was constantly working on himself, working on his character traits, working on his mind, working on his thoughts. Unfortunately, he had another side of him that wasn't healthy, and it wasn't his fault. And sometimes he just couldn't put those tools into practice. We used to joke, sometimes he's like a Ferrari. You know, he's the best of the best. He looks good, he can go fast, he's comfortable, he's everything. But if a Ferrari doesn't have petrol, it doesn't have the right fuel, it can't go. And sometimes through no fault of his own, he didn't have the petrol that he needed to implement the tools. The other thing he was very much into was contribution, service. How am I there for other people? How am I working to improve the world? And through all his businesses, he ran a football clinic for vulnerable children in South Africa, and all of his business models, even when he was working with top companies, was a very holistic model of how are you treating your employees, how are you accountable to yourself, how are you contributing to the world around you. So in these terms, Sacha had a very, very, very successful life. Often where we come from, the success is defined by, you know, what car you drive and how much money you have and what your body looks like and what your girlfriend's body looked like. And to be honest, Sacha had great success in that area as well. He had a good body and nice cars and girls. And however, for him, he knew, and we know, that success is based on growth and contribution. So if we could live a life and reach that level of success that he lived, we'd be doing very well. Our favorite film I mentioned on the night was Braveheart. So we always felt like we were William and Hamish, just fighting our battles together, going through life. And I think why we liked the film was because the film was someone who had a vision and a cause and passion, something that he was willing to die for. He was willing to die for these things, and as one of my rabbis used to say, once you work out what you're willing to die for, then live for it. Go and live for it, go out there and be strong, even though it's difficult. And I guess we saw that in Braveheart. Our favorite line in Braveheart was, "Every man dies, not every man really lives." And it's true, every man does die, and we're all going to end up there eventually. But not everyone really lives, and thank God that's something that I can't say about Sacha, because he did. He really lived. He really lived fully. When he was healthy, he lived 100 lives, and 100 good, passionate, powerful lives. The other line we also liked was, when William says to the king of Scotland, he says, "I see the strength in you." I'm sorry about my Scottish accent, but I see the strength in you, and that's another quality of Sacha. He always saw the strength in other people. He'd always tell people what was good about them. He'd always say, "Brad, I love you so much because, you know, you did this and you do this and you got this character trait and you've done this with your life." And he was always seeing the good in other people and therefore bringing it out of them. So he empowered so many people to live a life. He transformed their lives so that they could see the good in themselves. Unfortunately, he often just couldn't see the good in himself, and he was ashamed sometimes of the things he did. Once again, he did them really through no fault of his own, but because he was so honest and loving and caring, when he saw that there was a side of himself that didn't always live up to that, it was heartbreaking for him. So that really was his challenge. I said as well that when he passed away, it was the time we're reading the Parshas, the Torah portions of leaving Egypt and crossing the sea. And the word in Hebrew for Egypt is Mitzrayim, which comes from the word Metzarim, which means limitations. So leaving Egypt really is teaching us about leaving our limitations behind. And Sacha was one who was always doing that. He wanted to push himself to the next level. They say all growth comes out of the comfort zone, and he wasn't scared to push himself out of the comfort zone. I guess he found his freedom in his own way. He had his freedom now from what he said in his note, that we can never understand what it is to live in this mental agony that he was in. So he found his freedom as well. The other idea really being that when we got to the sea, we had to cross the sea, and everyone knows that when Moshe raised up his staff, the sea split, but there's also a midrash, a rabbinic legend that teaches us that really the sea wasn't splitting, and then there was one man, Nachshon ben Aminadav. And Nachshon said, "Right, we've just got to do something. We can't stand here." And he jumped into the sea. First, he said, "Come on, guys, let's just go and do this." And he walked in, and and it went up and up and up. It was up to his neck, and he said, "I'm still going to go." And he went up. And only when it got up to his nose, then the sea split. And all of us know who would have been Nachshon in our generation. We know Sacha would have jumped in first. He would have been, "Come on, we can do this, guys." Sacha was someone you wanted to have on your team. Whether it was the sports team, fighting team, a hiking team, a business team, Sacha was a full team player, and he was the star of the team, and he was someone you had. And I guess we had that team together through our lives. I always teach that there's a difference between an accomplice and a friend. So an accomplice in life is someone who you go and do all your fun, naughty things with you. You know, you're meant to be studying, and they're like, "Come on, let's just go out, go to the pub," and it is fun and you like them, but that's not a true friend. A true friend is someone who wants the best for you always, who's always looking out for the best for you and is loyal to you. So really, I guess Sacha and I, we were both accomplices and friends. We always wanted the best for each other, really, and we also always wanted to have fun. So we covered both areas. Another thing that's very important to say is he had love. We said he had so much love and a big heart, and really most of his love was reserved for his family and his sisters and his father, but really in particular his mother, Helen. And for me, Helen was like a mother growing up as well. She asked me at the Shiva, she said, "Are you sure you've had enough to eat?" And I said to her, "I've never in 39 years left your house hungry." And I don't think anyone has left their house hungry. But he loved his mother. She was always there for him, always understanding, never judgmental, and really she's one of the main forces in his life that really kept him there for as long as he was there for. So one last idea, because I'm a rabbi and we're entering Adar. The month of Adar is when we increase our simcha, our joy in life. So our sages teach us there's a big difference between frivolity and joy. Frivolity is just kind of jumping around and being stupid and getting drunk and having a lot of fun. That's frivolity. Simcha, joy, always involves other people. It's not just all about you and you having fun. It's about you having fun, but making sure that everyone else is part of that too. Someone who's besimcha can't be truly besimcha if the people around them are not besimcha, they're not joyful. And this was Sacha all the way through. Sacha, he could definitely have fun in clubs and stuff, but he was always checking on other people. Are you having fun? How are you? So for him, he wasn't fully happy unless other people were happy as well. And he always made sure that they were. So let's live happy lives and empowered lives and joyful lives and full, meaningful, deep lives. And really in the honor and memory of Sacha, who was really a great man and a great friend. David ben Aryeh should have a Ilui Neshama and keep going up and up. So I guess the final message I actually said the other night was Sacha would never forgive me if I didn't use this opportunity to get people to transform their lives, do something and be accountable. What are you doing? How are you living the best life you can? Don't be 90 years old and look back on your life and think, I wish I'd traveled more. I wish I'd told my wife or my husband more often how I love them, how much I love them. I wish I'd appreciated people more. I wish I'd expressed myself more, spent more time with my family than at work, spend less time watching TV and more time in the gym. All these things that we think I really should, I wish I could do, let's just do them now. You know, we're the ones who are still around. We're the ones who can fight another day. We've got more battles to face, and we're the ones who can now live a passionate and empowered, amazing life. So let's do that. Let's do it in Sacha's honor. He'd be proud that at least something can come out of this good, that his influence can still keep transforming the world and motivating people to live big, amazing lives.